Hey guys, welcome to the MSL, wow, Club Day MSL round of 16, Frozean versus Nada. Nada took game one, and it was pretty much a slugfest, and now we're going to see these two guys face off on Byzantium, whatever, Byzantium 2. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm not sure I have that much of an issue with it. Nada playing pretty well. I think I would say he's in a mini slump. He ended up losing the World Cyber Games, or I'm sorry, the BlizzCon finals. But he's going up against Frozean, and Frozean's really the king of inconsistency. He'll play really A-class games one week, and then be a complete flop the next week. So who do you call to win this game? They're Knights. By the way, this is Knights of Ni alongside. You can check out his channel at Knights Who Say Ni UC.
Yeah, I really like Nada in this game. Frozean, although he had a really hot streak for a while. He, I think, won something like 12 of 13 games through the qualifiers of the Star Leagues. But since then, he's 0-4 in the Pro League, and he's lost against all four races, including games against random people like MVP, Roro, and Sair, although Sair is doing pretty well this season. That is beside the point, though. But either way, Nada is, on the other hand, is very consistent. He has been playing very well recently. Not necessarily S-class, but definitely among the top level of the pro gamers.
And man, Nada, the king of consistency. I have to say, he's been the best player over the longest consistency of time. His OSLs were pretty well spaced out, and I can't think of a player that's been as good as him as consistently for such a long time. So this is kind of the consistent versus the inconsistent. It's the stalwart warrior versus the flashy lucky farmer, I guess. Anyway, I'll digress on that point. Looks like we have Nada starting in the bottom left-hand corner in yellow. We have Frozean starting at the 4 o'clock position in blue. This is Byzantium. It's interesting. It plays a little bit about like Reverse Lost Temple, if you guys are familiar with that map. I don't know how easy it is to really seal yourself in on the secondary, but there's your secondary up the ramp. The middle only natural after that. It's down some ramps, and I think that's pretty easy to hold, although you're going to get flanks from multiple positions. But you can set up tanks in pretty strong positions. I think what you see Terran versus Terran in this kind of set is you're just going to see that return to standard dropship play. We'll see if either player decides to go. Two-port Wraith has just been so popular these days. We'll see if they decide to do anything like that. But both going for pretty standard mech build. Actually, I take that back. So pretty standard mech build to open, but for Zean, looks like he might be going for a 14 command center, putting down that supply depot, but not putting down his gas or his barracks. So might be trying to take an economic edge against Nada here.
Actually, I think what happened is that Nada did an 8 racks and put down his gas at the same time, so he's doing a gas rush. I'm not completely sure what this build. I've never ever seen this before. He might be trying to do some kind of 3-factory push, or maybe our good old friend the 2-port Wraith or something. I really don't know what Nada's trying to do here, but he got his gas very quickly. He got his gas before his first supply depot, if that says anything.
Wow, interesting. So I missed it on screen because I was in the background looking at the map itself. Looks like we see a proxy factory going down for Nada, so Nada putting a factory out in the field. This is really going to get confused Frozean. Frozean's going to come to the base. He's going to see, first of all, gas is being mined. And actually, the gas has been stopped at this stage. Nada's no longer mining gas, so it looks like he might be going for some quick vultures. Now he's returning to gas production, it looks like, but pausing for a moment to get some minerals up. But yeah, he's going to have a proxy factory. Frozean has come to the base. He knows that factory's out in the field someplace. Now he's going to go hunting for it. Let's see if that SCV, it does look like that SCV is going to in fact, no, it's going by. Okay, now it's coming back. Has in fact spotted it, so he's going to be in a better position to deal with that. But we'll see if what Frozean does. I think the middle of that map, you can't really plant anything down there, so maybe he'll just produce a vulture out front here. This is interesting play here from Nada, I have to say.
Yeah, it's very odd, and I think a lot of the reason that Nada may be doing this is because it is near impossible to wall on this map. The only attempted wall I've seen on this map was by Up Magic against Jadong. Yeah, it is Terran versus Zerg, but it's the same concept, and he had to use 3 supply depots and a barracks to get the wall, and he couldn't finish it before the speedlings arrived. So I think he's trying to take advantage of the fact that it's basically impossible to wall in this map, and will be trying to use that to get to recover from the proxy or to just win the game outright, because there's no real way to stem the flow of Goliaths, in this case now Goliaths, into the base.
So it looks like, yeah, we see that armory down. Does look like Nada is going to start pushing Goliath after this initial vulture, able to take down that scouting SCV. Frozean, in the meantime, has his bunker outside on that ramp, so playing a little bit more defensively. Now he's getting that starport. I don't think he's going to go for 2 starport at this stage. My guess is he's just going to push for those dropships. But with those Goliaths on the ground, with Nada putting on some pressure, the question is will Nada be successful with that? Looks like that barracks getting assailed in the front, and more vultures being produced alongside here, just hanging outside that bunker, which is interesting position. I'm curious. I'm trying to remember on this map feature, just because I haven't seen a lot of this map, and it is one of the newer maps. I do believe that protects his base, but that's not going to defend his secondary. So I almost feel like, I'm not going to say that's a complete waste of resources, but it definitely feels like it's 100 minerals that is going to go to loss when it starts pushing into the mid game, especially with
and actually,
go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, actually, I think not Frozean's going for wraiths. I don't think he ever saw Nada put stuff back on gas, so I think he figures he's going straight vultures here, and whereas he put down an armory and he's going to be going for Goliaths, and either that or he's just going to go and do what it looks like he's doing, and that's just harass these SCVs, because the Goliaths are going to be so out of position regardless of whether there are some or not.
Yeah, it looks like the Wraith are going to be able to push up, get at least a SCV kill. I didn't see, man, I wish I could get a look in the back of Frozean's base. I didn't see a second port going down, but that Wraith is going to get assailed. It doesn't have any cloaking. Taken out fairly quickly, and that's Frozean right there. See, he could have pulled that Wraith back, and I think some games he would have, but other games he wouldn't. And it's which Frozean is going to show up. He's going to send another Wraith out into the Goliaths even, so he's really going to try to, I can't believe he's committing to this after seeing the Goliaths out in the field. I guess he's going to try to rely on maneuverability, but you can't rely on maneuverability when you're not microing your Wraith all that well. And once again, running in, taking 3 hits, you can't really be blamed for that one there. But it looks like he did. It looks like Nada is managing to save his factory. The question is will Frozean be able to save his? I think it looks like he does have in that protected fold another Wraith going down. So once again, yeah, just flying into those Goliaths. That's a pretty good grouping of Goliaths. He didn't have the starport down. That's really what we wanted to see. So sending out Wraiths without relying on cloaking against a large group of Goliaths, perhaps just some delay tactics to give him some time to get those tanks up in the meantime. Third factory going down for Nada. Nada, I believe we saw earlier, he has not taken his expansion, whereas Frozean has. So we'll see if maybe he can use some micro and try to push in against those tanks, but really wouldn't advise it up that ramp. In the meantime, just second factory going down there for Frozean. Looks like he's going to take an economic edge, and I'm not sure that there's much that Nada can do at this moment. With he does have a lot of Goliaths, but Goliaths against tanks, it's a hard thing to push into. And I think those 4 tanks and that grouping Marines will be able to hold off against this.
Yes, but he does. But the thing about Nada is that he does. Oh, and here come the SCVs. He does have a huge unit lead, like in the number of units, and especially if he brings all of his SCVs, like a full control group of SCVs, he will be able to take this down easily, because that's all that Frozean has. All Frozean has is those 4 tanks and those 4 Marines against 12 SCVs, I think about 12 Goliaths, and at least 2 Vultures. And here's the big battle going in here. SCVs coming out to fight. The Goliaths engaging. This will be a quick GG here. There's no way that Frozean's going to be able to hold this off. He's going to lose that last tank, and this is going to be GG right here. Nada's going to take this game. There's no way that Frozean's going to come back for this.
That was an incredible all-in maneuver from Nada. Nada bringing the SCVs to absorb that tank fire, and then just having that brunt force. Now trying to block that ramp. So Frozean, he's got those SCVs on the ramp, but yeah, the splash damage doing a lot of damage, and the SCVs did manage to push up and take that tank out. Nada just showing some amazing micromanagement here, and it looks like that lone Wraith is the only defense. Now it's 4 Goliaths up, going to be able to take that command center out. More Goliaths coming, so yeah, I do believe that Nada has taken this game down. That tank is all that's left, and there's SCVs and Goliaths all over Frozean's base. That was an incredible all-in maneuver. Nada realizing he had an opportunity there if he could just get by those 4 tanks and screen, and Frozean looking frustrated right there. As you can see, he's going to call GG. Nada is going to advance. So an all-in, very gutsy all-in maneuver there by Nada, recognizing that if he could just get past that initial siege volley, he might be able to take it down. Did in fact, had the SAVs on the line. Beautiful game from him, and Frozean once again playing a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, great game from Nada. I really have to say that kind of decision making, that split-second decision making, is what has kept him that consistent from so long. He sees an opening and he always takes it, regardless of whether he's playing like his micro is dead on or his macro is dead on. He always takes it, and it's just what helps keep him consistent throughout